Today we are finally unboxing the new LumenIZE LED bar and Pro T5 by Arcadia Reptile. Hey guys, and welcome to today's very exciting video because we are finally unboxing these. Now, it's no secret that I work for Arcadia Reptile. I have done for a while and I've always been very open about this, but my opinions are all my own. I have not been paid to make this video. I am just going to document my experience and share that with you guys. I've been using it with my pink tongue skink and a leopard gecko. Obviously, one benefit of working for Arcadia is I get items early. I believe I was the first keeper in the world to use these with my pets, so very unique position, and I just really want to share that with you. But first, let me briefly explain to you what on earth LumenIZE Pro T5 and LED bars are. So these lamps can be dimmed. They are controlled by an app, so you can create sunrises, sunsets. You can change them according to season, region. You can have a different one for each animal you keep, and the lighting is just far more natural than a simple on-off lamp. Now, Rex, my pink tongue skink, was the first of my pets to use LumenIZE. So when I first got him, he was on the usual LED and Pro T5 for about a month or so, and then I made the switch, and it's really made a big difference. Not only have the plants in the tank obviously grown massively thanks to the LumenIZE Jungle Dawn, but he has too. He actually kind of like quadrupled in size within like a month, and that's a lot of growth for a lizard to go through. And obviously having the LumenIZE Pro T5 in there has been extremely beneficial. However, the biggest difference I've noticed is he has more of a schedule to his day, so he's not simply under the heater and light, then boom, the light goes off and suddenly he has to run and find somewhere to hide, because generally his behaviour is he'll be out during the day and then I don't see him in the evening. Now, if that light suddenly went off, I might see where he goes off to, but because the sun gradually sets, or the light in this case, he has certain places he will gradually hide or move to as the sun sets. And so by the time the light, I keep saying sun, the light, the lamp, but by the time the lamps have gone off, he has a place to hide. I don't even know where he's gone, but that is far more wild-like. And so sometimes I'll see him in his cork hollow, but by the time the light's gone down, he's already sorted out a place to go. So there's no shock factor. There's no sudden light on, sudden light off, and he has to suddenly move. I don't know if you've noticed this with, say, my crested gecko. I was up very early in the morning and I saw Lyra, her light had suddenly come on, and it obviously caught her off guard, and she froze in place for a while until she probably figured out, okay, it's safe now to move, and she would eventually move into her coconut to sleep. Whereas if she had LumenIZE, it would have come on so gradually that she's like, okay, it's starting to get lighter, let me go back to my coconut and sleep. Now, it's obviously not just the animals that are affected by the lamps in the tank, plants are too. So whilst making content for Arcadia, I decided to film a time lapse with one of the LumenIZE lamps, the Jungle Dawn, and I took a prayer plant, and under this lamp, you could see it move as the light's getting dimmer, as it slowly closes up like it would in the wild or in your window. However, once I moved that plant into Lyra's tank, which just has the on-off lamps, I went to see this plant 2.5 hours after the light had gone off, and as you can see, it was still kind of open. It was still almost trying to catch up and close up. So if, once again, it was under the LumenIZE lamp, it would have had that time to slowly close up. So it's really interesting to see how everything is affected by this gradual sunrise and sunset. Now to Diego. So I set his lights up at the beginning of this month, and at the time of recording he's only had them for about 2 or 3 weeks, so very early on his LumenIZE journey, but I have already noticed a difference. So the biggest thing is being crepuscular. Leopard geckos are most active at dusk and dawn, and when you have a lamp that suddenly comes on or suddenly goes off, they miss out on that. They miss out on that gradual increase of light, or in those moments where the light is just very slight but they're active. And what I noticed is when I was programming the lamp on the app and I had it at 10%, he seemed very fascinated. So I decided that when I was setting this, unlike in Rex's tank where it goes 0 to 100, 100% to 0, I decided that I was going to prolong the 10% in the morning and in the evening, so he has a little extra time to explore his tank and gradually wake up. And actually I've been able to capture that. There's been a few times I've been up early, which is quite rare for me, and I've been able to see him actually utilize this.
Okay, it's 7 AM and Diego is up on his background in the light. Obviously it looks a bit brighter here, it's still about that 10%, but it's great to see. I had never seen Diego use that ledge, but today actually marks a week since I installed the lights, so it's interesting to see that now he's out there using it. And I think that's the thing, there's something I noticed with Rex as well, it takes them a little time to get used to it, and then my goodness, this is like a foot and a half off the floor and he's just chilling.
Now I will admit it did take about a week for him to get used to the lamp. I didn't see much of him in that time, and in true Leopard Gecko spirit, during the day when the lamps are at 100%, you either don't see him at all, maybe you'll catch him cryptic basking, on a rare occasion your Leopard Gecko might full body bask, but it's mostly hiding, and it's very normal, it's very wildlike for Leopard Geckos. I mean, you could say, well, if you keep it dark they'll be out all the time, but think about it, in the wild when the sun's up and they're hiding, like, we want to promote natural behaviour, so obviously I'm not going to see a lot of Diego, but it is really cool to see him using that in the morning and the evening. Overall, I found these lamps to be extremely impactful for my reptiles. I mean, Rex being a pink-tongued skink, he is kind of mostly active, at least for me, from what I see of him, during the day. So I see a lot more of him using the lamps, and over the past couple of months of using them, he's really just got into the swing of things and used them to their full advantage, and as I said, really made that sort of schedule for him where he's moving around the tank according to the lights, which is really cool to see. Being that I'm trying these out in autumn winter with a Leopard Gecko, when in this time they're typically becoming less active, you're not seeing them as much because they're going into partial brumation, it isn't too surprising I haven't seen a whole lot of Diego, but I do love that I can adjust the lamps so he can have that full winter brumation experience with shorter days and shorter sunsets and sunrises, and really try to mimic the wild. And obviously animals brumate for a reason, so being able to encourage that and allow them to do that, amazing. I am definitely planning on eventually getting everyone these lamps. Fortunately, you can also link up to 10 of these, like the Pro T5 and the Jungle Dawns, but the linking cables are sold separately, so I may end up spending a small fortune on this, but it would be definitely worth it, and it'd be so cool to see the room gradually wake up and then gradually get darker again. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure you do follow Arcadia Reptile. Obviously, I make their videos and some graphics and do social media posts, so you know, show some love over there. And if you do end up buying and setting up LumenIZE, be sure to tag them in it, because we might actually share a few of your pictures. But anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.